watch my. Okay, today, what are we going to look at it? So, because a couple of them, right, because of gap, all the things they wanted me to repeat certain things. So we discussed about what is ETL, right? So ETL stands for extraction, transformation, and loading. 1 second, let me just. ETL stands for extraction, transformation, and loading. Okay. So what is extraction? From the source system data, we simply extract the data. Okay. And for example, you have the source system, OLTP system. Okay. You don't have full control on this one. Only thing is you have a read-only access. You will use E, extract. Okay. And then what you do is, once you extract the data, you load it into a temporary area called staging area. The staging area, this is kind of a temporary, okay, temporary area. And here you load the data, right? So you extract the data and then load it here. So it's simply a duplicate of these tables, okay? Not all the tables that belong to your OLTP database, but whatever the data that are required to create your reports, right? The corresponding columns and data from the source system tables will get copied over here. Okay, and then what you do is you join the tables and then load the tables data into another table. Okay, and then finally what you do is you load this day-to-day. This is kind of a day-to-day transactions. Okay, day-to-day transaction, weekly transactions data. This is kind of a daily, most likely daily and weekly related data. Okay, or monthly also. But daily basis also it will happen on a day-to-day basis. Okay, we pull the data. And then once the data is available, here only we do the data transformation. We don't do the data transformations here. And then once we do the data transformation or data pre-processing, we load the data here. The L will happen between the staging to the data warehouse. Okay, this is your staging area. This is your data warehouse. This is your source system area. Source, staging, and data warehouse. Okay, this is how the data will get. This is a kind of a pipeline. Okay, extract the data from source system, and then stage the data in a temporary area, and then you combine these data and then load it into a warehouse. Okay, the warehouse, once you load it into warehouse, you don't, these data doesn't require any further cleaning or something like that. But rarely you may, even this data also will undergo some kind of transformation. But the basic transformations, like if you have duplicate records or if you have missing values in your data set, right? Those kind of issues you will address it here. And apart from this, you aggregate the data from multiple tables into a single table. And then you combine all the tables data and you do the aggregation and then load it into another table. That table data will get loaded into data warehouse. Okay. Fine. So what we will do is today's session, we will take a look at what is we have something called in Power Query Editor, keep rows and remove rows. Did I discuss this one by chance in the last session? Because we spend most of the time in the folder connector, isn't it? Okay. So what we will do is, see now I am in the Power Query Editor. In the Power Query Editor, you have the home ribbon, right? In the home ribbon, you will find something like keep rows and remove rows. And the keep rows, if you click on the drop down here, and you have an option like keep top rows, keep bottom rows, keep range of rows, keep duplicates, keep errors. If I click on keep top rows, the number of rows, right? It will show something like you have an option, something like this. Here, if you say 10, okay, it will display top 10 rows. Right, so top 10 is, yes, we discussed about it, but still, right, there are some people, they wanted me to repeat it because of long gap, okay? So top 10 rows, okay? And next one is keep bottom rows, okay? So now we just use this option, keep top rows. Here I have used top 10 rows, right? So here we can see the top 10 rows, the corresponding action or the step, you can find it here. The corresponding step, you can see it here. 1 second. One second. Let me. So here you have the 10, right? Top 10 rows. So here, now my job is over. I just want to see the first 10 records. I'm going to click on the cross next to the keep first rows. Okay, this is the one. I wanted to see the top 10 rows. I have seen it. My job is over. I'm going to click on the cross next to the keep first rows. That's all, my job is over, right? So I'm going to remove this step. Next one is, similarly, we have bottom rows. Instead of looking at the top 10 rows, you wanted to view the bottom 10 rows or bottom 100 rows. See, in the real world scenario, you have millions of records. Before you proceed with creating or data pre-processing or data cleaning or data munging everything, you need to, it is better always, go and check whether you have sufficient amount of data available in all the columns. Importantly, the columns which are using it to create the reports, right? And also you just check, the columns that are very much required, right? Those columns you have any missing values or something like that, okay? And also understand, right? So how, develop some understanding about your data, okay? So keep bottom rows. If I give 10 here and if I give it okay, the bottom 10 rows. Look here. You can see the bottom 10 rows. Okay. So, okay, my job is over. I just scroll towards the right side and left side. I can see some missing values and postal code and all the things. Fine. I'm going to click on the cross mark next to the keep last rows. Okay, that step has been removed. Okay, and the next one is remove alternate rows. Okay, so okay, sorry, keep top rows, keep bottom rows. Okay, keep range of rows. So you might be wondering why we need to do this one. Is it mandatory? It is not mandatory. It is always good. Take a look at the cursory look at your data. So the top 100 records, top 50 records, whether you have sufficient amount of data or all the columns are available. Columns are available, but data are not available in certain columns. And majority of the records, if you find missing values, you need to go back to the customer and ask them to give the complete data. Okay. And then similarly, keep bottom rows. Take a look at the bottom 100 rows and then keep range of rows. Okay. Next one is, this is for exploration purpose. Okay. How good the given data is, and to develop some understanding, we are using. Next one is keep range of rows. I'm going to hit that one. And here you can see first row number of rows. Okay. Here, the first row is sixth. For example, I want to start from sixth rows. Instead of top 10 records, bottom 10 records, I wanted to select randomly from a specific portion of the data set. Go to the sixth record, and from the sixth record, we select 4 records. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Or let's 5 records. 42360 and 6638. Okay. 42360 116638. Good. So we can see that we are able to select a specific range of rows. So how do you select the odd number of records? How do you select the odd number of records? How do you do that? Do we need to write any script for that? Or can we give the rows, just like that? So for that, we need to use something like, we have to create some custom column, okay? So custom column, and the column name is something like is odd or something like that, okay? We can have additional thing, and then we can filter it based on the odd column, okay? Okay. What we will do is here, yeah. So we will create some index column, and then with the index column, with the help of the index column, what we will do is we will take a modulus of the mod. Okay. Once you take the mod, and if the remainder is not equal to 0, that means it's an odd record, right? So each odd record, so you create another column where you just check a number dot mod. Okay, if that one will return true or false, so you can just, by selecting the true, you can select only the odd number of records. Okay, so this is your first record, for example, first record, third record, fifth record, and seventh record, and ninth record, or 11th record alone you want to select it, you can do it with the mod function. Okay, fine. Got it? You give it a try. This is just a small exercise for you all. Okay, but anyhow, in the real world scenario, we don't select odd records or even records and all. But still, it is good if you wanted to select it. There are some cases you might have to use this logic, okay, to select the odd records or even records to display it. Okay, and next one is you can go to the keep duplicates. I just select keep duplicates. How many records? Yeah, it is not doing that, right? Okay, let me do one thing. I will just remove keep duplicates. Removed columns. Okay, 1 second. Removed, inserted by day name. Okay, this is the previous one. Okay, so let me just here keep duplicates. Let me do one thing. Keep duplicates. Order ID. I have selected order ID. Okay, in this case, I have selected order ID. So it is showing the duplicate records only on this one. So what we need to do is we need to select all the columns. Okay. Sorry. So just press Control A. That's all. Control A will select all the columns and then keep duplicates. We don't want to check a duplicate on order ID column itself. If you do it, obviously it will have duplicate records in the order ID column itself, right? Because in a single order, multiple products would have been ordered. For each product, the order ID will repeat it, right? The order ID will repeat it for each product, okay? But we don't want to see the duplicate in the order ID column. It doesn't make any sense. But we want to check whether the same transaction got repeated more than one time. So the order ID is same. That is okay. The dates are same, fine. And if you see here, the product name also same here, right? The product name also same. Okay, but the same, see, for each order, the product ID should, for each product should appear only one time per product, per order, right? So in this case, per order, the same product appears more than one time. Okay, hence it is a duplicate, right? Hence it is a duplicate. So now we have seen a duplicate record. You can take it with your customer and tell them, hey, this is a duplicate record. What can we do? Can we go ahead and remove it? Obviously, they will tell, yes, all of them are same, better you remove it. But you can ask them why duplicate went in here, okay? Whether the same job ran multiple times. Okay, so in that kind of situation also, these kind of issues can happen. Fine. So now what we will do is, we have seen it. There are some duplicate records. Next step is action. Just viewing the duplicate records or the problem alone not sufficient. We need to solve it. So I'm going to click on the cross next to the step. And here what I will do is, I just go here, remove duplicates. I'm going to click on remove duplicate. Remove duplicates. Okay, we remove duplicates. And the next one is remove rows, remove duplicate, remove blank rows. And can we see any blank rows are there here? We don't see any blank rows option available here. That's what we discussed in the last session also. And now we will go ahead and check how many number of records are there before we, delete the blank rows. And I just go to the transform and I'm going to click on the count rows. $25,000 records are there. Okay, I just click on the cross next to the step. Okay, we are done. The next one is the remove rows, remove blank rows. So 25,000 records are there. If I click on this option, let's see if this one removes any record. So now I just go to the transform and count rows. $25,000. That means, we don't have any blank rows are there in the data set. See, before even, right, if you see here error and empty is 0%. That means there are no blank records are there, right? Empty is 0%. Yeah, cool. So we don't see any blank records are there in this data set. So there is no need to go and remove the blank rows. Okay, if you see empty, for non-zero percentage, right? For all the columns, that means you have a blank row, you can remove it. Okay, and then remove errors. In case you have any errors, you can remove it. Okay, and next one is the keep rows, keep duplicates, and keep errors. Some cases, yes, you need to keep duplicates. The classic example, order ID. You have, if you look at only the order ID column, you have to keep the duplicate records. You cannot blindly remove it. Okay, but for the same order ID, the same product repeats multiple times, then you have some problem. Okay, you have some duplicates and you need to remove it. Okay, so we have explored all these options. Okay, similarly keep top 10 rows, bottom and 10 rows, remove top 10 rows, remove bottom 10 rows, remove alternate rows, remove duplicates, remove blank rows, remove errors. Okay, all these options are somewhat similar, but here we can see the we can see problem. First you explore, don't act anything. Once you find any duplicate values or anything, then you can go and remove the duplicate record, remove the blank rows and so on. Okay, fine, got it? Yeah. So this is a simple data cleaning task. The data cleaning also falls under the broader term called data pre-processing. Okay, got it? Okay. Next one is I just click on the view ribbon and then column distribution, column profile, column quality. Look here, if you click on the column quality, you can see that each column, how much percentage of valid records are there. And if you click on the column distribution, you can see the pattern, distribution pattern, whether it is right skewed data or normal distributed data. If you're a data scientist, you know these terms. Okay, this is kind of a right skewed data. Okay, but any of product name and all, we don't worry about that. In the case of numerical column, this is helpful. But there are some cases, yeah, we can, this is very much helpful. Look here, 4 distinct and 0 unique values are there. You can see it here, segment. And if you click on it here, you can see that blank and consumer corporate home office. Okay, all right. Yeah, column profile. You just click on column profile. You see the column profile, you can see that, when you click on the column profile, for this, by selecting this column, you can see that in the consumer segment, a lot of transactions happen. Okay, so with that, we can quickly make out of all the segment, which transaction, which segment we had more number of transactions happen. What is the distribution here? It tells it frequency distribution. The consumer value occurs multiple times in this 25,000 records. Okay, and then corporate and home office also. But out of the 3, the consumer consumer transactions happen more number of times and home office happen less number of times. Okay, similarly when you select city here, and you can see that New York City, right? New York City occurs multiple times. And if you go down here, you can see these 3 cities, right? The sales is not good. These 3 cities are really poorly performing. Kota and Villa, Geelong and all. Okay, these 3 cities are not at all performing well. And these are the cities are performing really well. Okay, and state, England, California. You can see England, right? England and California, New York, right? So you can see state-wise, which state and which city. It's really helpful, right? It gives us very good insight. Quick insight. With that, you can see order priority. So high priority orders we received more, and critical we received this much, and low priority orders less number of times ordered by the customers. With return, you can see only few items, right? Two transactions they returned it, and majority of them they did not return. It's a good indicator. It's a good indicator. If you find more number of return, there is something wrong. And click on day name. Sunday is nothing, right? So there is nothing happen. And Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Wednesday, right? So the number of transactions are happen pretty good. Very good. Right. So now you understood what is column quality and column distribution, column profile. Once you are done, you can disable it. Okay. Once you are done, you can disable it. Otherwise, if you work with huge volume of data, it can slow down, your performance a little bit. Okay. Okay. What else we need to look at it today? I just go here. And since we have asked, right, we will repeat the same thing again. The pivoting also. Pivot, how to do pivoting, unpivoting, apply changes. I just go to the get data, and here we have Excel workbook. Expenses, I just click on it here. This is an Excel file. Yeah, I just load it. I believe all of you have downloaded the data set. In case you find any missing data file, you let me know. Probably I can share it via WhatsApp also. Okay, you can. I believe all of you are aware of how to browse the WhatsApp in the browser, right? Okay, expenses. Yeah, we are done. And next one is get data. Okay, good. And data one Excel. Okay. We will play around with this simple data set. I just click on the transform data ribbon. How many of you have started watching my videos? I would suggest in the meanwhile, you can fast track it. There are certain topics are pretty simple, and if I share the agenda, if you proactively say, hey, Satya, I've seen it, can you please skip it? We'll skip it so that we can fast track it. End of the day, in this, almost all the batches, right? I could see that most of them are looking for a job change, so that we can try to place you the earliest. Me, okay. Yeah, Sagar, okay. You're looking for a job change. Okay, good, good. You're also started fast tracking it. Very good, very good. Stored procedure, very good, very good. Stored procedure, very good, Sagar. And almost finished. Okay, very good, Mahima. Good. And I could see that Deepa and Praveen. Okay, okay, good, 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 good. So started fast tracking it. Okay, and SQL is very much in it. Oh, really, Sagar, excellent. Yeah. Obviously, we are working hard, right? 1 second, sorry. And now, Okay, good. So now we could see that in the expenses Excel file, we have 4 columns and year, month. Yeah, good. Yeah. So I understood. Year, month, expenses, quarter. What we are doing is 12-hour office. How about travel time? If you are living close to office, fine. Otherwise, no. Okay, in Bangalore, it's very horrible. Okay, now what we will do is we'll explore how to do the pivoting. What is pivoting? What is pivoting? Yes, very good, right? So those of you working in Excel, you know how to convert the rows into columns is called your pivoting. Am I correct? So look here. So we have a year, month, expenses, and quarter. What we want is instead of displaying the expenses, in rows, right? Year by the expenses by year in rows, we want the year to be displayed in columns. Okay, what I am going to do is here, I'm going to click on, I just selected the year column, and here I'm going to click on the pivot column. And here instead of selecting month, I'm going to select, okay, here I'm going to select expenses. Okay, and here I'm going to hit OK, values column. Okay, in the values column, don't select month and all. Okay, the values column expenses. If we select what happened, so 2020 year became a column here. So it looks so compact, right? So you can quickly compare, hey, in quarter 1 and quarter 2, quarter 3, what is the sales? And in quarter 1, month 2, month 3 alone, if you want to see the expenses by year, you can see it, right? It's pretty quick. All right, okay. So this is called your pivoting. I just duplicate this. Here I just duplicate this one, pivot expenses, and here unpivot. Okay, sorry, I made a mistake. Okay, let me do one thing, delete it. I just duplicate this. Yeah. And in this case, now we wanted to unpivot. So here we have converted the rows into columns, right? We have converted the rows into columns. And in this case, you want to convert the columns into rows. Okay. How do I convert the columns into rows? That is called unpivot. Unpivot is an opposite of your pivot. So we have an option here. Here we have some unpivot columns. Okay. The unpivot columns, when you click on the drop down next to that, you have 3 options here. The first one is same as this one. So simply you can click on it here. It'll get created. Okay. Let me do one thing. I will just do it. Okay. So what I will do is I want to convert the columns. Supposing they've given you the data something like this, and they want you to convert from columns to rows. Okay. In that kind of situation, you just click on the unpivot columns. And here you can see that month, each year, right? So this is your year and that is your expenses. This is your expenses. Year, quarter, month expenses. Okay, I just move this somewhat here. Year, month, quarter. Year, quarter, month expenses. Okay, and here I just say unpivot. Year, quarter, month expenses. Okay, so this is how you can unpivot the data. Columns to rows, you want to convert it, you can convert. And rows to columns, you can convert it this way. Okay, this is a simple example. Okay, and here in this case, okay, what is that? Deepa, she's asking in the values column, why should I use? Is there can't I use month there? Yeah, what we will do is Okay, in the pivoting, right? Okay, I'll do one thing. So guys, don't ever do the duplicate here like I did it here, duplicate. Okay, the queries, okay, I'm duplicating the query here. In the real life scenario, each query will have huge volume of data. It takes a lot of time, consumes too much of memory. It literally slow down your performance, okay, reporting performance and all. In this case, okay, your question is, I just come over here and then here we want to pivot. Instead of expenses, you want the month, right? If you do month, what will happen? The years will display it in columns, but for the instead of displaying the expense, display the month only. Look here, 2020 month 1, month 7, likewise, right? Just because the pivoting is option is available, pivot and pivot, you cannot do it, whichever way that you arbitrarily cannot do it, right? You should do it in a meaningful way. Understood, Deepa? Yeah. So, for example, in this case, yes, the years are appearing in the rows. Instead, I want this one to be displayed in columns. Okay, fine. So that kind of situation, you can do the pivoting. Unpivoting is the opposite. Okay, I don't want, supposing the given data format itself pivoted one, they want to see the data in unpivot one. Okay, so that kind of situation, that is helpful. Okay, on a case-to-case basis, you can choose it. Okay. Okay, next one is pivot, unpivot, what else? Next one is the transpose. Okay, I just use the same thing. I'll just duplicate this one, the pivot expenses. And here I just go here and then I click on transpose. What is transpose? It simply rotate the data. So here month 1, month 2, the month 9 will get displayed first and month 8 will get displayed next. Okay, I just do the rotate. Simply rotate the data. Look here, month 1, month 2, month 3. Okay, sorry, in this case, it is not reverse. Okay, what I said was reverse, but this one is transpose. Simply it rotates your data. Okay, the entire rows, it rotated into columns. See, look here, this is your data set. So in this case, the 1, 2, 3, 4, the entire thing got rotated. It simply rotated it. Okay, rotated it as something 1, 2, 3 month values. And then in quarter 1, month 1, quarter 1, month 2, quarter 1, month 3. So what do you say? This is another way of looking at the data. Sometimes when you look at the data in different shape, you might tend to get different insights. Okay, transpose. The next one is reverse rows. Okay, how do I reverse rows? And I just duplicate this one, pivot expenses. And then here, I just click on reverse. The reverse earlier I explained, right? The same thing. Just while explaining transpose at the outset of this one, I discussed about the reverse. The last row will get displayed first, and the second last rows will get displayed the second one. Okay, here I just do the reverse rows. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so you reverse the rows. Okay, this is called reverse rows. Transpose expenses, reverse expenses, reverse rows expenses, unpivot expenses, pivot expenses. Okay, how to pivot, unpivot, transpose, and reverse, we have seen it. Okay. Yeah, a lot of options are available, Deepa. Okay, Deepa's question is there any other scenario, good scenario where we can do this one? So on a case-to-case basis only you have to do it. So why we have to use reverse? Simple common sense. Okay, the whole idea is exploration, data exploration here. Okay, instead of looking at the data, so let's say, you wanted to, simple example is you want to see the recent month expenses. You want to see the recent month's expenses. You don't want to see the, the beginning of this year's. You want to see the recent month expenses. Okay, in that kind of situation, reverse rows will be. But again, the recent months is 9th month and 8th month, 7th month. Last, you are giving an option. Hey, you want to see the last 3 recent months or last 4, last 5 recent months expenses? Okay, you can see that. Okay. So now you understood what is reverse rows, transpose rows, unpivot, and pivot expenses. All right. What else? Next. Yeah, we are done with this one. Yes, pivot. In the unpivot, we have another option called So this is if you click on the unpivot, same as this one, the functionality, but we have unpivot other columns option is available. For example, I just copy this again here, duplicate. Okay, instead of duplicate, I just delete it. Why to duplicate? That will slow down the performance. I just click on reference. We have something on reference. Okay, and in this case, I want to unpivot other columns. Okay, unpivot other columns. In this case, I want to unpivot these 3 columns. In that case, I just select only the first column. Next one is I just go here, unpivot other columns. When I click on this, what will happen is these 3 columns values will get converted as rows. Okay. So this is pretty simple. See, in this case, we have 20, 21, 22, right? For example, I just, reference this one. Reference is pretty faster, Deepa. Yes, instead of duplicate, the reference is something like, it's kind of a view. It is pointing to this one. And for example, here, okay, month quarter. I think I made a mistake here itself, right? Okay, let me do one thing. I just go over here. I just duplicate this one. In this case, okay, what I am going to do is, okay, I'll pivot other columns. Okay, so let's say, I am taking month. Okay, I'm doing the pivot on the month column, and here the values are expenses. Okay, I just hit OK. You can see that year 1, 2020, quarter 1, month 1, month 2, month 3, month 4. Month 4 and months 7, 8, 9, right? So in each year, 9 months, right? 9 months, you can see the data. And Q1 here, 2020 Q1. But here, Q1 is a little bit confusing, right? If you do it this way, it will confuse you. Here, 2020 Q1. So Q1 is actually 3 months, right? But here it shows a little bit different. That's why I told you, before you do pivoting, make sure that you are, just because this feature is available, blindly don't use it. Sometimes it doesn't make sense. Okay. So probably you can remove quarter here. Okay. Forget about this one. Let us focus on month 1, month 2, month 3, month 4. Okay. Now we have converted the rows into columns, pivoting. Okay. Now you want to unpivot it. Okay. What I will do is I'll just select this one, and let you know, I am just thinking that this doesn't make any sense. Okay. What is your question? Okay. I just did this. Deepa. Yes. I have undone that one. Okay. You want the Q1 to be displayed next one? Yeah, correct. You are correct. So I just made a mistake. See here, Q1. No, look here. The 1, 2, 3 is months. Okay. In the Q1, month 1, month 2, month 3, and all it shows, right? 2020. That is the reason why the confusion is happening. Okay. You want the quarter to be, see, if I convert the quarter, if I do the pivot by quarter, Okay, let me do one thing. Instead of man, the reason why I came here, right? So many columns. If I do pivot on the expenses, it will show correctly, right? So each quarter, but here it shows null, null, null. Okay, and you have, this is called sparse matrix, SPARSE, sparse matrix. We use the term called sparse matrix. This is called sparse. More lot of null values are there. Only some places you have values in it. Okay, and majority of the places you have null values. Okay, but in so here also some kind of confusion, right? Q2 month one, you have in Q1 month one you have value, but in Q2 obviously the month one will not fall in Q2, right? So this one unnecessarily put nulls here. Okay, what I will do is I'll click on the wheel icon next to this, and here okay, here also it doesn't make sense. Simply we have to remove this one. Okay, so okay, let's stick to the for the sake of understanding the second option here. Okay, I will answer your other questions later. I will do the first I will do the pivoting based on the month column expenses. So instead of displaying 1, 2, 3, 12 months data for each year, one after the other, so it displays everything in columns. The report looks a little bit compact, but you need to scroll towards the end, okay, to view the thing. And now you want to do unpivot, okay? So in the quarter, as I told you, in this context, it doesn't make any sense. I'm going to remove it. I'm going to select here. Look here, it is that much simple. Okay, if I click on this one, unpivot, otherwise what will happen? If this option is not available, you need to manually select, each and every. How do you do the multiple column select? In Power BI, you need to hold the control key and then click on the other columns. Okay, this is how you can do the multi-column selection. Okay, multi-column selection, that's how you can do it. And but that is a painful thing. In this case, we have 12 months, right? So 12 months columns, you need to select it. Instead, you select this first column, click on the drop down here and pivot other column. That's all. Expenses. So here month expenses. So here you have unpivot other column. This is unpivot. Hope you understood, right? Instead of selecting each and every column, select the column which you don't want to do unpivot, and then go to the menu, click on unpivot other columns. You need to select multiple columns in most of the times to do the unpivoting. This one simplify your job. Simply select one column and click on this one. Rest of the columns will be unpivoted automatically. Okay, unpivot only selected columns. Can someone tell me what kind of scenario you can use? Unpivot only selected columns. The same thing, right? Unpivot only selected columns. You select these three columns, and same as this one, unpivot only selected columns. You need to rename it. Yes, obviously, year and expenses. Unpivot only selected columns. Okay, cool. Right. So we have played around with all these three options that are available as part of unpivot. And next one is the merge columns. Is a pretty straightforward. There are scenarios you may have to merge the columns. And for example, you want to create, you want to have year and month. Here I have already created year and month. We have discussed in the last session, right? Order date and where is the year column? Do we have year? Yeah, ordered year, and we have ordered year, and we don't have month here, right? Order date, and then here I just go here date and month. Extract only the month from the order date column. Sorry, here we need to duplicate this column, otherwise it will replace the existing column value itself. Okay, I just right click on it and duplicate column. And here what I do is sorry, transform, go to transform your date. In the transform ribbon, you will find the date menu. And here I'm going to extract the month alone. Okay. Sorry, not the month. Here I just want to extract, let me do the date, right? Name of month. Okay, and next thing is, I just click on it, month name. Next, what I do is I combine the month name with the ordered year. Okay, so in that case, I just go here and ordered year, where it is here. I just move, you can drag and drop the column also. There are some scenarios, yes, you may need this one. Importantly, when you work with the date column, date dimension table. How many of you used date dimensions in your projects? Any analytics project, the date dimension, you need to create a separate table to hold all the date related year, month, date, and quarter, all the information. Okay. So look here, I want to merge these two columns. Okay. Select these two. How to select more than one column? You need to hold the control key and then you select more than one column. Okay. And now I selected two columns here. We have merge columns option. I click on merge columns here. And then now it asks, you want to, what kind of separator you want to use it between month and year. Okay. What I will do is, here, I just put, not comma, here, month, year, space. We'll put not space. I need hyphen here. Equal sign, colon, custom. We have custom option. You can specify hyphen. Okay. Year hyphen month. Okay. You can say, or usually, sorry, we usually put a month and year, right? Yes. Month and year. Month name and ordered year. And then you can merge these two columns. Here separator you can use custom, and here you can put hyphen, and here month year. Look at July hyphen 2022, February hyphen 2023. Now we are done. Okay, so this is how you mean it. And so what we do is on hyphen year, we put it like this here. Okay. We are done. Okay. This is another way of merge columns. We have seen with this example how to merge the next one is we have extract length. You want to see the length of a specific column. You can use it text before delimiter, right? To extract, you want to extract only specific values from the given text data. You can use this one. Okay. You want to see the length and it gives you the length. Okay. What is the length for each value in this one. Okay, we don't need to see the length, but if you want to see that, you can create another column, duplicate the column, and then you can check it out. Okay. What is parse? Parse is XML, JSON. If you are using XML or JSON file, you may have to parse it, but with the latest version, we don't have to do anything. Simply, when you open any JSON file, it will get opened in your Power Query editor. Okay. From there, you can do all kind of things. Okay. The next one is statistics. And when you go to the profit column and then click on the profit column and then statistics, sorry, if you click on the discount or profit column and then statistics, some total, you can see it here itself. Okay. So this is straightforward. See, there are certain options you don't need. Split column. Okay, I want to split. So we merge column, split column. The split column is the opposite of merge column. Okay, fine. The next what we will do is we will jump into the add column topic. So if I wanted to add a new column, how can I do that? How can I add a new column in my, so why should I add a new column in my data set? In the real world scenario, you cannot use whatever, because you get only the raw data. For example, in our case, what we have is nothing but the raw data. With this data itself, you cannot create a report. You can create it, but your report is not complete, right? Because in your report, you need key performance indicators, something like revenue, or sorry, net revenue, gross revenue, net margin, if you want to say it, margin percentage, right? So in that kind of situation, you may have to use some business logic to create additional columns. Okay, in addition to the existing columns, you may have to create some additional columns. Those columns you can use it in your report. Okay, fine. So now what we will do is I just go over here and okay, in this case, we will do one thing. So we will, yeah, so yes, you are correct, Deepa. So already we created some new columns like a day name, right? So that is getting created automatically. So even in the case of add column, we have this one, the year, month, everything. That is the one we have seen it here, right? So the day name, the year we extracted, and then month we extracted separately. When you extract it with the help of the date column, see the date menu option, it creates new columns, right? It creates a new column that itself a custom column, okay? But it implicitly creates the new column. There are situations we may have to create the columns explicitly. So how do I do that? That is also, I have shown it in the last session. For example, yes, here, yeah, the order date, and yes, you are correct, right? So here you select the column and then I right clicked on it and then I just duplicated this column. I extracted the year, month, date, right? So that is what I did. But apart from month, year, date, is there any other situation? For example, you have a customer data set where you have first name and last name is there. You want to combine the entire name of the customer. For example, first name and last name, you want to combine it together. That kind of situation, you can use it. Okay. And for example, I'm going to split this column now by delimiter. Okay, by delimiter. Split this column by delimiter, hyphen. Okay, each custom of the delimiter. In this case, the custom is hyphen. I'm going to hit OK. And now the month and year will get separated together, right? And then the preview of 1 second. What is happening? It was showing some warning or error. Yeah, month, year one, the month got separated. There are two columns got created, but it named, it gave some name on its own. we are going to modify the name, column name, okay, with a meaningful name, okay, month, and this is year. This is month and this is year. This is month, this is year, okay, and yeah, cool. Next one is I'm going to click on the drop down here. List may be incomplete. Month, year, everything is fine. Okay, so here we have something called discount, right? Yeah, the sales is not a numeric column. We know this issue, right? We need to replace the dollar by some blank value. I just do it. And next one is I just replace the NA by 0. NA by 0 and click on the ABC here, and then I'm going to hit the decimal number. Now we can see the decimal number values here, right? We can see the decimal number values. The sales column, next to that we have 1.2. Yes, fine, they're done. So now we want to create a new column, custom column. I just go to the add column and click on the custom column. Let's say I'm going to say net sales, net revenue. In this case, in the custom column formula section, what we do is we select the sales column, subtract the discount. Let's see if the discount is in terms of values or percentage. If it is in terms of percentage, you need to select sales into discount. This one will give the discounted value and then subtract it from your sales. And this is the one formula. This is called your business logic or business rule. This is the one given by your customer. Okay. The business analyst, they are the one responsible for understanding the business rule or the business logic. Okay, wherever it is required. And then, so okay, now I'm going to hit OK. Net revenue. Net revenue, we got it, right? So next to that, we can see the icon. I'm going to click on it. I'm going to hit the decimal number value. We can see this is the value. Yes, I'm going to do this one. Everything is good. Yeah, all right. So net revenue. So this is one example for creating the custom column. Okay, and what is that, Deepa? Okay, you wanted to see the net margin. We will see it later. Okay, so that requires some kind of a formula. See, in that case, for you, the assignment is wherever you find yes here, right? In the return column, we have no means there is no return, but this item the customer has returned it. Okay, the shipping cost is this much, and what is that? The shipping cost, and then the profit, right? You cannot say it's a profit, right? So in the sales is 0 here. Yeah, look here. In this case, the put sales is 0. So there are some cases, sales is 0 is valuable, right? It's a valid one because this is a return product. We are not going to gain anything. But the profit, we have mentioned 397. Here also it is something wrong here, right? It should be shipping cost. Okay, what I'm trying to say is, in the case of net revenue, you need to subtract the discount, and also you need to subtract the so in this case it is correct, right? Yeah, fine. We don't have to break our head, right? It gives me 0 only, correct? Because we are not getting any profit, we are not getting any sales. Since the sales is 0, And even if you have discount, even discount for this one, I think, yeah, discount is also 0, correct. Okay. So sorry for the confusion. So in the case of returned item, the net revenue is 0 only, correct. In this case, non-returnable items, good. So net revenue, net margin, we'll see it later, okay. So this is one scenario where we create the custom column. Apart from this, concatenating 2 columns, okay, or sometimes you may have to extract the middle value from your given column, specific column. You want to extract the middle value from a column, and in that kind of situation, you can go for custom column, okay. And most of the time, what we do is we create some bucketing and all that kind of situation. Also, we'll be using the custom column. For that, we will look at this. There is something called conditional column. I'm going to click on conditional column. Using conditional column also, we are going to implement the business logic, but the conditional option feature, which helps us to reduce our task in terms of writing the M's language script. So you know what is M language script? All we did so far was just click on it, right click on it, that's all, type it, right? But this script gets generated automatically by the Power Query. This is called a M script, okay? And in this case, what I am going to do is rename net revenue, and here conditional column, okay? Here I just click on conditional column. Sales bucket. I selected net revenue. Next revenue is greater than 0. Sorry, greater than, less than. I'll just say less than. Or we can say less than or equal to. Okay, let's say I'm going to say what is the value here in the sales column? Yeah, here we can see 3,000 odd, right? 1,600, everything. Yeah, and the value column, let's say you have something like 1,000. The output is low revenue. Okay, and I'm going to click on another add class. So else if net revenue, else if net revenue is less than or equal to 2,500, it is medium. And I'm going to add another condition, add class. So here I'm going to say net revenues less than or equal to. So let's put some big value. Okay, something like that. Okay. And this is high sales. Similarly, you can create it for the price column also. Look at sales bucket. So with that, you can, in one shot, if you want to see the transactions where you made highest revenue, you can click on it here. You can see, these are related. According to you, the highest revenue is more than some value, right? So more than 2,500 is your, look at more than 2,500. You can see it, right? So you can see high value. This is your bucket based on which you want to some additional analysis. That is also possible, right? Okay, good. So these are the examples for custom column, net revenue and sales bucket, right? And day name. And these are the additional columns. We are able to create it using custom columns as well as the conditional columns. Even we have some price column here. So here we don't have price column here. Yeah, profit also you can try it out the same way. High profit, low profit, medium profit. You can create your own custom business rule based on which you can check that one. Okay. So, okay, fine. So, what are the other scenarios? Okay, for example, yeah, so you want to add the days, right? You want to add days. You can use this one. Yeah. We will see more scenarios later. Okay, don't worry. Okay. So next one is I just click on the transform ribbon, not transform ribbon, add column. Okay, here I just create custom function. First of all, what is a function? Function, there are two types of functions. When it comes to Python, we have three types of function. One is the user-defined function, and then the built-in functions, and we have something else called the anonymous function. Okay. Lambda, they call it a lambda function. What is that? Lambda function. If you are good in Python, also good. Lambda function in Python. Okay. But here also somewhat similar to lambda function, we can create it, and user defined function, and we have something called built-in functions. What are the examples for built-in functions? These are the examples. Select rows, and these are the things. Okay. And then next one is added conditional columns here. And here table dot add column, and here you can see that table dot transform column types, and here you have something like a table add column here. Dot add column sales bucket, each if net revenue is less than 1,000, then low, else if net revenue is less than 2,000, then medium, else if net revenue is less than 10,000, then high. Okay, else null. So you have to write this many logic, right? If you use the M script, but here with just one click with the help of conditional column, we are able to create. So now the let's now look at the custom function. See the custom. See, these are the functions. Look here. That's what I'm trying to say. The add column. The into the last. Can you tell me some functions that are? Can you list down few function names in Power Query Editor or M language? You can say add column, replace column, merge column. Okay, when you click on merge column, so sorry, combine columns. Okay, combine columns and rename columns. Most of the cases, right? If you want to rename a column, the function name also rename columns. Okay, merge columns. Don't don't get stuck. Don't say I don't know. Try to manage that. Okay, so to rename a column, we have used rename.column, and to remove a column, to remove a duplicates, we have used table.distinct. To remove a blank value, select rows. Okay, and likewise, we have used it. You can tell them. Okay, and insert row. Okay, insert row, inserted here. Okay, to create a new column, add column, table.add column, add column, rename column, replace values, and distinct functions. Right? These are the functions that I used it. You can tell them. Okay. And what are the other things we can say? Yeah, these are the functions you can say. We will discuss about the additional functions later point. Now, these are the built-in functions. Add column. When all we did was just point and click it, add a new column using custom column. We create a new column. But is there any way can create a custom function? My own function? Yes, that is also possible, right? My own function, user-defined function or custom function, both of them are same. For example, here in this case, I just go to the transform ribbon. Sorry, how do we create a custom function? What is the advantage of custom function or user-defined function? So there are scenarios. See this, select rows, table dot select rows, table dot add columns. These are the user-defined. So these are the built-in functions. These functions were created by Microsoft. Okay, as part of Power Query, we don't have to create that one explicitly, but we can modify that. We can use it. But we don't have to write the underlying logic for these functions. Okay, that has been done by Microsoft. Okay, there are cases we may have to write our own function. For example, you want to simple example, you want to calculate the net salary, employee net salary. So in that kind of situation, you have the data for the deductions and earnings, right? Earnings, you have data, and for this, the earnings are nothing basic, HRA, and the commission. These are the earnings, and deductions are something like loss of pay. These are the deductions. Okay, you add all the earnings and subtract the deductions. That is your net income, net revenue, so or net salary. Okay, so this net salary is, this formula is common for all the employees in your company. Let's say you have 2 point, let's say in TCS we have close to 5 point, close to 6 lakhs employees are there. Each and every employee, you don't have to write this formula repeatedly. Write once, use it as many times as you want it. Okay, so that is what the idea function. Okay, it's something like ready mix. How many of you buy ready mix from the shop? You go and buy the ready mix, so that they already put all the ingredients in it and they mixed it with proper ratio. All you have to just unpack the one which you bought it, the product, and then you need to pour it in a water and mix it, and then you are ready to cook, right? So that is what your ready mix. Similarly, the function, there are some cases, right? The function, the custom function, the complexity is more. So the user, since there are some business logic, it requires multiple lines of code to implement them. Once you implement it, you tell the user, hey, you don't have to break your head. Simply, you need to pass the relevant values to this function. That's all. It does all the calculation. It gives you the value. Okay, fine. So now what we'll do is jump in and we'll take a look at what is what. So what is the advantage of custom function? The custom function is also called as user-defined function. In Power Query, we call it a custom function. You create it once and use it as many times as you want it. And the advantage of this one is modularity. You have more modularity, right? So I just click, just manage the queries pane, right? Here the empty space, I right click on it. And then I'm going to click on new query or blank query. Click on blank query. And here I'm going to say inside the parenthesis x as number or int. I'm going to use a rocket, symbol arrow here. X into x. Okay, that's all. I'm going to here or else we'll do one thing. Okay, x as number. Put it like this. Okay, now it should prompt of, okay, I just give equal sign just before this. Only then it will work. Yeah, now correct. So just before the function, you need to give the equal sign, followed by the equal sign. Inside the parenthesis, this is called an open parenthesis, this is called a closed parenthesis. Whenever you use an open parenthesis, you need to make sure that the corresponding closed parenthesis is used. Inside the parenthesis, the first argument is your parameter. That's what it says, enter parameter. Okay. Earlier, I did not specify the equal sign just before the function. It was simply displaying the same value as it is, but it should display something like this. Okay. Here, what we are doing here, if I give any value, for example, if I pass 2 is a number data type. So what will happen is this 2 will get copied here. This is your function body. Okay, this is your function body. Here 2 into 2 is 4. It will square the value, right? It will simply square the value. And since there are no syntax related issue, it gives me something like that. Here, you need to enter the value for the parameter x. I just put here 2 here. The 2 will get copied here. And then 2 will get copied here. So 2 into 2 is 4. Okay. It will return 4. Okay. I just click on invoke. It will return 4. Okay. Fine. So now my function is ready. So once again, I want to test it. I just click on query one. Okay, here I just say, for example, 12. If I click on invoke, this parameter x will get copied with the value 12. 12 will be there, and 12 into 12 is 144. I'm going to click on invoke here. Look here, 144. Can you see 144? Yes, I just delete it. And here also I'm going to say delete. Here I just say square me. I just renamed it, okay? So that if you give some meaningful name, later point of view. So now you have created a function by the name of square me. You can give it to your team members. You can tell them to, hey, you don't have to manually calculate the square for any value. Just give whatever the number that you wanted, okay? But make sure that you are giving number. Sorry, you give some number. And if you click on invoke, it will square the value. So reusability. This is called reusability. That is the key advantage of using the functions like the table dot, remove columns, replace values. These functions were already created by someone else. We are able to reuse it indirectly, right? But here in this case, we created a custom function on our own. Similarly, I'll just show you another example how to create another custom function. So what I will do is I just right click on it in the empty space just beneath the query pane, and then new query and then blank query. I just hit blank query. But you might be wondering, right? So this look like a formula bar. Here, if you want to write multiple lines of code, it is not so convenient. The other way of writing the function is you can go to the view ribbon, advanced editor, click on advanced editor. In the advanced editor, you can say let block and in block. Okay, in the let block your source and in block your source. And here, what I am going to do is I am going to say, let's say, basic. Okay, here also we need to use the parameter. Okay, basic as number, HRA as number. And here what I do is basic plus HRE minus LOP. Okay. And here in the source, the left side, I just rename it net salary. Simple example. Okay. You start with a simple example, net sal. Okay. So here I have written all the parameters which I want to pass it later point in time inside the parenthesis, and followed by the each parameter mentioned as is a keyword. You have to mention it. Okay, this is the syntax, and followed by the as, you need to specify the data type. Okay, it's a number data. Okay? Followed by that, you specify the rocket arrow, and then you have let block and in block. In the let block, you specify net sal is equivalent to basic plus HRE. Okay, in the basic plus HRE minus LOP. Okay, and here basic plus HRA minus LOP, and this will get calculated. The output of this one will get stored in the net cell, and the net cell will be returned. Okay, so whenever you call this function will calculate the net salary, and then it will return the net salary. So the in block will contain the what value you want to return. The function has to return a value. Remember this. Okay, function has to return a value. So this function, we are returning this value. Okay, this one will consist of basic pleasure minus LOP net salary. Okay, I'm going to hit done. And here, if you see here, basic HRA LOP. In the basic, let's say you have something like 100,000, and HRA is, let's say, 24,000, and LOP is, let's say, 5,000. So now what will happen is the basic will get copied here, and HRA will get copied here. 5,000. You don't have to copy it. It will get copied automatically when you click on invoke. And then since these value get copied here, the let block, right? This kind of your function body. And here what happens is the basic will get copied in turn, and then the HRA will get copied. LOP will get copied here. And this value will be computed, and then the final net cell will get stored here. This is the one we want to return. Okay, I'm going to hit the invoke button here. 1,19,000. Okay, this is my invoke function. So here I'm going to give some meaningful name. I'm going to rename it as net cell, calc net cell. Okay, that's it, guys. So the invoke function is just for our testing purpose. Okay, I'm going to delete it. Okay, now the question is, we have the function called calculate net salary. In this case, we are, this function is accepting three parameters, three values for these three parameters. When you pass this, based on each and every employee's basic HR LOP, it will give the net salary. Okay, we have 6 lakh employees. For each and every employee, do you think you can key in each and every employee's basic HR LOP? It's practically not possible. Then what is the point in using the reusable function, right? So now let us see how we can use this function. We created the function, we tested the function, it's working as per the function, as per the functionality, as per the expected functionality. Good. Now we need to apply the function on our data set. So for that, what else? I just click on the new source and then Excel workbook. And here I'm going to say emp1. Employee.csv. I just click open. Not this one. Well, I think, yeah, emp1. I think that one is missing. Excel workbook. Or just simply I'll just type it here. Okay, wait to waste time. Here I just say emp.csv, emp1.csv, I think so. I just type it directly here, and instead of searching it, you type the name, it will open it. But make sure that you've given you are looking at the, yeah. So here, this is my employee data set. And for each employee, you can see the salary and LOP. Let's assume that the salary is something like, the basic, okay? And here, okay, I just hit okay now. We don't have any HRA in this data set. What I'll do is I'll just go to the calculate net sal. Here I just go and remove the HRA part, okay? And you can use the data set, and you can add additional column also, and then you can modify this one, okay? In this case, I just go to the emp1. I modified the function also. Now, how do I use that function? Let's assume that in this case, we have only 5 employees. Let's say we have 7 lakh employees out there. We want to compute the net salary. Go to the add column, click on the invoke custom function, calculate net salary, calculate net salary. The column name, a new column name is net salary. Function calculate net sal. Basic is the salary, and the LOP. Look here, in this case, you have two options. You can enter the base salary manually, or you can select the column name. It's a salary, and in loss of pay, you can specify the column name here, and LOP. Okay, you give the LOP. Okay, salary LOP. This is the function name, calculate net salary. The new column name is net salary. I'm going to hit OK now. Look here, for all the employees in one go, it calculated the net salary. So what we did, step 1, we just created the custom function To create the custom function, what we need to do, we need to click on the blank space just beneath the queries queries. Okay, new query. Click on blank query, and then what you do is if you want to open this one, advanced query editor. Sorry, not the query dependencies. Advanced editor. If you go here, advanced editor, you can see all this, right? The first one is your parameter. It is also called an argument. Okay, parameter as number data type, LOP as number data. If it is a text data, you can specify text. Okay. Followed by that rocket arrow. You have let block and in block. Let block is specify net sal equal to basic minus LOP. Whatever the logic. Okay, here the basic and LOP. Okay, the name Deepa is asking, is this name mandatory? It is up to you. You can specify whatever the name, but give some meaningful name. Okay, LOP and net, return the computed net sal. This one will have the basic, the net salary, right? If you subtract the loss of pay from this one, you will get the net salary. That is the one gets stored here. Okay, so this function is ready now. When you use this function, it will give you the net salary, but you need to pass the basic value for these two parameters so that it is dynamic. You can pass any values. So now I create the function. Okay, everything is fine. How can I use it? That's where we have invoke custom function option is available. Where can I find it? Go to add column, the invoke custom function. When you click on it, it will, so 1 second. Where is the data set? You need to go to the data set. Okay. You need to go to the data set. In this data set, you want to add an additional column. So look here, even in this case, it created a new column explicitly. We did not click on custom column, isn't it? All we did, invoke custom function. When I clicked on it, it was asking about the column, the new column. I mentioned about net salary. Then the function name, which I created already, I'm going to use it. See, once you create a function, you have to use it, isn't it? Something like you bought a car, but you're not at all using it. Then what is the purpose of buying a car, right? Similarly here, once you create a function, you need to use it, right? So for that, we are going to use the invoke custom function. Here we specify the new column name and then the function name as calculate net sal. And then the next option is it will automatically ask you the parameters for this function. Okay. So you want to type the values manually. If you type the values manually, it will not work out. Hence, we clicked on the drop down. I'll just show you one more time, guys. Yes. So look here, this is net salary function. If I select calculate net sal, in this one, how many parameters I used? Basic and LOP. Look here, it automatically displays. And here, you need to make sure that you are selecting the column name. And here, the salary column. According to us, this is the basic salary. And you can click on column name itself, you can specify. So that for each and every column, it goes and picks up the earnings and then deductions. It subtracts the deductions from the earnings and then it gives the net salary. So you can give some meaningful net salary. Okay, that's all, guys. So net salary. Okay, got it? Okay, fine. So this is how you can create your, this is what invoke custom function is all about. So hope you understood what is custom column, what kind of scenario we can get, we discussed about it. And implicitly also the new column will get created. And there are cases we may have to create the columns explicitly. And we have seen the conditional column. There are situations you may have to use if else. So in that case, you don't have to you don't have to be familiar with the M language syntax. Simply you can use custom conditional column. It gives you the window, right? So wherein you can, it gives you the if else all the things. Simply by clicking on add class, you can include additional as many conditions as possible. Right. So even in the case of conditional column, it creates the column, new column implicitly. Okay. Next one is the invoke custom function, which we discussed it with these two examples, right? The calculate net salary. Okay. I'll give you some assignments. You can start work on it. You can also make sure that at the end of each and every module in the Power BI Instructor course, right, you will find the quizzes and assignments. Make sure that you are going to complete it. Okay. So I'm going to click on file and close and apply. So with this, I'm going to wrap up the session today. And tomorrow we'll discuss more, more thing, okay? More topics tomorrow, in tomorrow's session. You want this report file, Deepa? Yeah, I will send it, okay? Okay, from my side, I'm